All right, it is Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. That means we are going into the Derbyverse. My name is Big Poppa. We're going to be talking about everything happening in Southern California over the weekend and a couple other bits and pieces here. So we're going to go ahead and start off. On Saturday, we had the Winetown Rollers. They hosted their annual Naughty versus Nice themed roller derby bout. That was at Margarita Park. And you had the juniors had a little exhibition bout. The minis had a little exhibition bout before the Naughty versus Nice took over. Naughty's was the winners, 210 to Nice being 98. So it looks like that was a good time. Check out Chuck Gay's photography and also Chuck Gay himself on his Facebook page. He's got the pictures from that night up there. We've also got that over on the Into the Derbyverse page also, so be sure to check that out. And if you're there, we've got other photos and a little bit of articles and stuff we want to talk about. And if you got stuff you want to ask or want to discuss or anything, that's what it's all there for. So now Monday, that's coming Monday, December 17th. The West Coast Derby Knockouts and Skating Plus will host a benefit bout with 100% of the proceeds for every ticket purchased at the door will go to the family and the friends affected by the borderline shooting that took place on November 7th. Now, tickets are $8 and kids 10 or under are free. It is at Skating Plus. It is at 1720 Mesa Verde Avenue there in Ventura. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. First whistle is at 7 o'clock. I'll go ahead and be there announcing that bout. If you've got that time, come out and help support that. That's a great cause. Now, Angel City Junior Derby, they went ahead and had tryouts over the weekend for their blockbuster travel team. Now, they're teaming up with their sister league, which would be San Fernando Valley Roller Derby, to actually bring a fun and competitive opportunity to the junior skaters in the LA and surrounding area. They were looking for 20 skaters. So I kind of reached out to them this afternoon and see if they had, how that went, when they're going to be listing the roster. So hopefully we'll hear some good things from them. So that's always a nice thing to see. Now, if we can, San Fernando Valley Roller Derby, they have their Winter Sleigh Charity bout. That's going to be this weekend, and that's going to be at the lot there in Sylmar. That's going to be at 12,900 Bradley Avenue there in Sylmar. Now, what's really good about this is going to help out the Domestic Abuse Center. Now, your first bout up is the Jingle Slayers taking on the Menorah Meanies. I believe that's going to be a junior bout. And then we've got the Nutwhackers taking up Pump Up the Yams. That's going to be the adult bout. Now, it's going to be $10 at the door, and 10 and under are free. And again, that's going to be at the lot this Saturday at 12,900 Bradley Avenue in Sylmar. Now, we are looking for some more referees and NSOs. So if you are not doing anything and want to help out a great league and a great opportunity, the Domestic Abuse Center, please go up to their Facebook page and let them know that you are willing to help. Again, they're looking for referees and also NSOs, so that would be also a great thing to do. That's about it as far as what happened over the weekend, just kind of finding some information on that. And coming up next, I think this is the last event that I have scheduled for the month, which would be San Fernando Valley. Most teams have went ahead and switched over to their off season. I've kind of seen a lot of teams actually doing an off season. I think that's what's really good. Get your body to rest for your skaters and stuff, and kind of recover and stuff. That's always good. But I want to bring up a couple questions. If you noticed up on our Facebook page, you can go up there and take a look at that. I asked a couple questions. So, question number one, where does Derby go from here? What is next for Derby? So we've got the season over. We've had champs coming in. There was a change, a lot of changes in the WFTDA, and also changes in MRDA and also JRDA, the juniors and stuff. So there's been some nice, some changes, rule changes and stuff. But where we are sitting here, where do we go next? What is next for the Derby community as far as where do we advance? What's the next advancement? We've had a lot of changes in gear, a lot of different focus. One of the biggest focuses that I've noticed, in my neck of the woods is actually concussions. You see a lot of that in mixed martial arts and football. You heard a lot about that. And in basketball, since we are a full contact sport, that is the next thing that we're looking at too. And then the question also I asked is, are we following the correct rule set? So let me just talk about that real quick. And I do apologize that I don't see the up on the Facebook Live. I don't see the chat, and I apologize. But I will. If you got a comment and stuff like that, leave that in the chat, because I will follow up on that right after that. So first of all, where do we go from here? I think our next, we've got the juniors set up. I think continued growth with juniors. I think continued growth in not expanding the number of leagues. I think it should be expanding the depth of the leagues. I don't know of any team that actually rosters, has a charter of a full 22 person roster that they charter. So I'd like to see that, that depth of the leagues continue. Also, what I would like to see is more leagues getting together. I think this year we've lost we lost a lot of resources. And when I'm saying resources, I believe we lost a great photographer in the sport. We've lost some great referees in the sport. We've lost a lot of supporting staff, non-skating NSOs, non-skating officials. So we've lost that. I think it would be really good to see that if you're holding an event, that it's a double header. Great example, Foothill Foxy Flyers and the Foxtails. Every event that they do, that's a double header. They've got the juniors first, and then they've got the adults, and that's great. I see that a lot. I really like to see that. I like to see double headers. If you have one team that plays, and you don't have a B team or another team, bring in another team from another area. A couple different areas. I like to see that, and that helps with the getting the bouts, because we've seen it earlier where you had a lot of bouts going on and you stretched your resources very, very thin. There was a couple of events that had to be canceled because they had lack of referees, and that's not a knock on the referees by any means. They travel a lot. A good example, I know that Flow Block is a head referee, and he went to 2 different bouts in the same day, and I know he's not the only one. There's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of skaters that would skate a bout and then go to another league and referee that. So I'd like to see that be, as far as the double headers, more double headers kind of doing the resources. The other thing I would really like to see, each team, each league house their own, referees, the ref crews, and NSOs. So they have that. They have a full staff there at the league. So, and it's not that they just, do their own games. I was a referee administrator for AYSO, and one of the things that we did is our league had to supply a referee crew to a tournament, and we would be that neutral party. I live in the Antelope Valley, so we were a small little town, Roseman, and whenever the big leagues, the big teams played, like Quartz Hill or Palmdale or Lancaster, we were the referees. So I'd like to see that. That's kind of where the growth comes. I would really like to see that. I think the really next thing after that is just to grow that community. I really like to see more depth of the leagues, more training for the referee crews and stuff. Speaking of which, go over to the Ventura Derby Darlings Facebook page. I believe it was the 19th of January. I'll have more information for you on Thursday, but they're doing a one-day rules clinic, and that would be great for referees and NSOs and also skaters. I think it's like $10. Bring a chair and they'll provide lunch. I think that's an excellent. They'll go over the new rule set. So as far as where I would like to see things advance, but I think what's next for roller derby is possibly collegiate. If we can get into the college. Right now you have the youth that are coming out of high school, and then there's no really transition because a lot of them are going to school. Yes, there are other leagues out there, but it would be really nice to see that collegiate transition. I know there are some teams out there that are collegiate teams, but I think are a really good set to go from. But I really think the next big step, a lot of people have talked about TV and stuff like that. Totally understand that. But I think there are some things that are holding us back. One of the biggest things is our image coming into the mainstream. That's got to change for a lot of us. But I think the biggest next step is the Olympics. We qualify for Olympic sport. We meet all the qualifications. So that comes to that last question. Are we following the correct rule set? Now, please understand, I mean no disrespect to any organization. I'm serious about that. No disrespect to WFTDA, no disrespect to MRDA or JRDA, but if we are wanting to go into the Olympics, who is the governing body for the Olympics? WFTDA is not, MRDA is not, and JRDA is not. It is USARS. Okay, so that's the question there. So are we following the correct rule set if that's the path we want to take? I am more than eager I'd like to discuss this because me, I like roller derby. I like discussing roller derby. What is that? What does that look like for us? Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? Where do you think we should be going? Should we be going, in a different direction? Should we be looking at the collegiate type aspect? I really think that for this sport to grow, and it has grown immensely in the short number of years that we have, is you always have to feed more into the adult league itself. So how do we support the juniors? A good example, Hit Squad TV with Lloyd Knox and Ivy Knox. They've got the university out there. That's really great to show those skaters how to be a good sports person, also to be able to skate. Some of these skaters are phenomenal. I mean, they are just phenomenal. So being able to do that, also to be able to bring in more adults into the sport and lengthen that sport, deepen that relationship that you have. I'd like to see groups get formed together so you actually have conferences. Right now, we kind of pick and choose who we play with and when we play with them. I like to see more more bouts that are set on a set schedule, that, hey, this year we're going to be playing these teams and these are the teams that we play, and then kind of rotate that out a little bit too. But have a conference that you actually can actually play and have a playoff or a championships. I know that Arizona does that. They had their state championships. We talked about that. Nevada started that. They had a small turnout, but that's always great. But here in the state of California, we've got a phenomenal group of skaters, a great pool to pull from. You know, that would be great to see that play. The other thing I would love to see, and I would challenge a league to do this, is not do co-ed, but do a men's and women's team and play quarters. Show me about like they used to do with the Thunderbirds. One quarter would be the women's playing. One quarter would be the men's playing. So on and so forth. And then it's a total score. I would love to see something like that. You know, that would be, you know, a great thing to see. Not knocking co-ed. Love to see co-ed. But I would really love to see that, you know, that, well, USARS has it and they call it old school. I would love to see that. That would be a great bout to see. So we've got a lot of changes going on. A lot of, 2018 brought a lot of changes. You brought name changes so that teams could be more recognized of where they're coming from. You had that with the Mainland Misfits, who changed their name to the Greater Vancouver Roller Derby. So you've got that. Mad Hatters, they changed their names to Madison. So you saw that going on. So you had a lot of different changes. Rose City, the champions, they created a new logo for them. You know, San Diego, take a look at what's happening in San Diego. San Diego has a new facility. They're building a new facility that's both banked and flat track, and they're bringing in men's, women's, and juniors. So there's a lot of changes going on. So I'm really excited to see what 2019 has, that new season. You've got 5 to 7 new teams that should be joining full membership in WFTDA. 5 of those are right here in Southern California, so that has a lot to bring. So I'd like to see a lot of your comments. You know, what do you think? What would you like to see? What are other things that, you know, are we have it? So let's have a discussion. Put that in the comments. If you think you've got a friend that might, you know, like to talk about this, then share that with them too. So I'd love to talk about that. That's great. Now, what we've got coming up on Thursday, we're going to be talking a little bit more about San Fernando, that charity event for the San Fernando Valley Roller Derby. Also, JRDA released their standings, so we're going to go ahead and talk about that. We've got a couple teams popping up here in the Southern California area, and some new people popping up too. West Coast Derby Knockouts, the TKOs. They both went into mixed and also girls only. So that's great. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. You know, I'm looking back to what we had in 2018. You know, had a lot of different tournaments going on. I had a great time announcing. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. What we've got coming up in 2019, we've got more of the, be doing more juniors. I'm teaming up with Los Anarchists and announcing, being the head announcer for a couple of their tournaments. So if you'd like to get into the junior roller derby announcing scene, please let me know. We can talk about this too. Or if you are a announcer that, you know, maybe need an extra mic, or if you're a league that needs an announcer, or you're a league that has somebody that wants to be an announcer and, you know, needs some training, I'd be more than happy to help out and stuff like that. So please let us know. We've got a lot of things coming up and going on. So I'd like to move the discussion about, you know, those 3 questions and continue to talk about that maybe for the rest of the season, you know, rest of the month that's coming up. So we got a couple more. We've got a lot of different changes too. You've got Friday nights. You've got Power Jams. We've got IB Junkie and Mama Beater out there. They're bringing you that information. Mr. Nito, he's got his little thoughts on his weekend tournaments and games that he went to. He always brings his insight. He does that on Monday, so that's great. And I think with all of us bringing you that extra different views on it, I think that's great. So, we on Tuesday we'll talk about the weekend, and then on Thursday, talk about what's coming up on the weekend and other events and stuff. So it's been a good week there, Mr. CJ Watson. What do you think?
Sounds like a lot's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of wrapping up a little bit, as far as it. I think this with San Fernando, I think this is, again, I'm old and my memory's fading, but I think this is the longest we've gone into, past thank scrimmage. I use the thank scrimmage as a gauge for the end of the season, and I see a lot more events going on. But what I really do like to see that I've seen there is a lot of more events that are supporting local organizations. You've got, with San Fernando, it's the Domestic Abuse Center. That's always a great organization to work with. You've got West Coast Derby Knockouts, helping the families and those affected by the shooting at Borderline. That's great. I know Ventura County Derby Darlings, they did a benefit also for the fires and stuff. You've got a couple bouts, Jamming for Jugs. Man, that was a breast cancer awareness thing. I've had friends that have been affected by cancer. So, any help on that is great. You've seen other teams and organizations, so that's always good. And that's what's really nice about the Derby community, is that we always give back. Foothill Foxy Flyers was doing for the dogs and cats. We're collecting stuff for the dogs and cats, so that's always a good thing. I'd like to see that, continue on. So what else we got going on besides, aircrafts and tanks and stuff rolling up in the cul-de-sac?
Well, we are a military town. Military-friendly town, I would say. So what's this going on at Solmar? That's interesting.
Yeah, well, that's...
That they're doing the tie-in with the local support.
Right, yeah.
The team. Tell us about the team, I mean.
Okay, so San Fernando Valley...
you call them the leagues.
The leagues, yes. So basically, San Fernando Valley Roller Derby, they are their leagues. They have 4 home teams, if I can remember it again. It's going to be the Topanga Mall Rats, the Reseda Wreckers, who are their champions, Van Nuys Valkyries, and the Balboa Bandits. Or was it the Balboa? No, Balboa Bandits is their champions. So there's 4 home teams. And they have travel teams. They have the Wipeouts, and then their charter team, which is the WFTDA. That's the OMGs. So that's what they have. They play. They're a phenomenal team. I met them early in my career, and they are just a phenomenal team. And they travel. They used to take annual trips. I think one year they went to not Australia, they went to Ireland, and that was like phenomenal. So you kind of live vicariously through that team. But really great team. So they are doing a winter sleigh charity bout, and that's basically their juniors are going to be separating into a couple teams. The Jingle Slayers will be taking on the Menorah Meanies. And then I love these guys, the Nutwhackers taking on Pump Up the Yams. Yeah, Pump Up the Yams. Yeah, and again, $10 at the door. Kids 10 and under are free, and then it's going to be at the lot. They've got a nice facility there in Selmar. I went out there and stuff like that. It's at you kind of go into a industrial area, and it's in the back lot. That's why they call it the lot. But it's really nice. It's a good group.
So the weather's always kind
it's decent. Yeah, it's decent. It's San Fernando Valley, so yeah, it works out. But yeah, if you've got nothing to do, or you're looking for something to do, or you've got that itch for more roller derby, please check them out and help support them. And again, if you are a referee or an NSO and you want to help out, please give them a look up on Facebook or give them a call on their webpage and help them out. What else there?
It's a pretty good time of year to have something because I know some schools are going out this week.
Yeah, a lot of schools are going out this week and stuff, so that's always...
Ours aren't, but, a lot of schools.
Those other schools. And you know what that means? Better traffic.
Better traffic, yes.
I commute all the way down from Mojave all the way down to Simi Valley, and last week was a killer. Oh, it was just crazy. They had actually one on Pacific Coast Highway. They had one 4-ton boulder that came off the cliff, hit a delivery truck, sheared the axle completely off. It was crazy. So, but all right, what else? I think we wrapped everything up.
I do. I think we're gonna have to think about what we're gonna have to add on the show in the downtime.
Downtime. So hey. If you're sitting at home on the couch and you want to talk Derby, give me a call. You know how to reach me. Let's talk Derby. Put you up on the broadcast, and let's get this speakerphone in. Yes.
Or do a Skype conference.
We could do a Skype conference, or actually, I was actually looking at this the other day. Is on Facebook Live. When you go Facebook Live, there's another button there that you can join in on the Facebook.
Oh, we're going to have to test that
We're going to test that out, yeah. So if anybody wants to be guinea pigs or lab rats, to help us test that out, please, check us out. So.
That's right. All you need is a voice and maybe an opinion.
Hey, you don't even have to turn on the lights. You could just be that voice, that little, what was the, X-Files. It was the smoking man or the cigarette guy or whatever it is. I can't remember. Yeah, you
can put a paper bag over your head.
The unknown comic. Yeah. So, all right.
Anything goes.
So again, check us out on our Facebook page. Check us out on our YouTube channel. Give us a like and a comment. Leave us. If you want to talk, let's talk. I'd love to do this. And again, this has been Into the Derbyverse. My name is Big Poppa. That guy over there behind the camera is CJ Watson. And you've been filled in. As always, keep your friends close and your enemies within 20 feet of the pack. You have a good evening.